Welcome back to the barn. My name is Joanne Knight. On this Barn Buddy, we're going to look again at this chocolate bunny quilt, and I want to show you how I set up the background diamonds to be able to quilt the inside of this quilt. In the last Barn Buddy, we talked about how we took the diamond and altered it to be able to work for this quilt. So now I'm going to show you how I set it up. The inside of this quilt, right along this edge in the applique section, is 37.5 by 40. So the first thing that I'm going to do is use my geometric square. So let's get started. I have my crosshair of my machine set at the upper left corner of this inside piece where the applique is. I have already done all of the outside border, this little swag, and this little inner border right here. So now I'm to the point that I want to set up this inside. So my machine head is right here on this little crosshair. So I'm going to select my geometric square and I'm going to go to repeat patterns. And what I want is one square one time. That pattern is selected. And if I only want one pattern, I'm going to mess with individual pattern details. So I'm going to type in 37.5 and hit enter. Freeze aspect will turn off. So I am going to now type in 40 and hit enter. But I need to change my pattern location to upper left corner, and I'm going to say OK. And Creative Studio is going to put that geometric square on the screen. Now this represents the inside where the applique is. So I'm going to close repeat patterns. I'm going to select the geometric square and I'm going right here and I'm going to convert that pattern to boundary because it is a pattern and I do not want it to quilt. I only want it for reference sake alone. The next thing that I'm going to do is start placing my diamonds in here. I've got to go up and get my little bunny diamond. I'm going to go back to repeat patterns, and in this case I need these diamonds to be nested. So I need to do my spacing first, and it's going to be a negative vertical spacing, and I'm going to put in a -2, which is 2 inches, move my mouse, and that takes effect. I'm now going to go right here to connect, start, and end, because you see this says 1.55 on total width, and my actual pattern is 4.25. That's because the ending of this bunny pattern is on the inside of the diamond. So I want to change connect, start, and end to bobbin pull up, and I'll do that with one left click, and now it gives me the proper width of one pattern. I'm going to change this to 37.5 and hit enter, and I'm going to make my total height 40 and hit enter because that is going to be the total quilt. Once again, I'm going to make this upper left corner and I'm going to say OK, and it's going to put those diamonds on the screen, and they are overlapping and not the way I want them to be. The reason that they are is because I need to do one more thing. I need to change on alternating to plus row on top and left click, and now they look more like what I want them to be. Let me go and put my grid size at 1 inch and say OK. And that tells me, if I scroll in close, that these are pretty close in relation to each other as to what I want. What Creative Studio does is measure from the top of this diamond to the bottom of this diamond. I have a gap in here and I don't want that gap, so I'm going to go and add 2 more rows. I don't need to add another height, but I am going to add 2 more rows. That's going to still leave it in the upper left corner, but I am going to select all of my patterns and I'm going to move them up just like that. I need this one to be, let me turn my crosshairs off. I need this pattern to cut in half because these diamonds need to look like they are fading off of the quilt. And I will do a fill inside on each one of these to be able to quilt these diamonds. I'm pretty well happy with the sides. May want to pull that out just a little bit to where it exactly cuts that diamond into half. You will need to quilt these one at a time because of shrinkage. This is an issue down at the bottom, and now you see why my geometric square is so important. So because I am using F9 anchors, I can take this bottom anchor and just move it up just like this and click off of it, and now you can see that I have the diamonds cut in half on the top. Bring them back down a little bit, please. Like that. They're pretty much in half on the side, and they're in half on the bottom, and this is the way that I did the quilt layout for Chocolate Bunny. Easy to do. I really kind of guessed at my spacing. I knew that my pattern was 8 inches, and I knew that I wanted it to be up in there, so you can play with that and decide what you want to do with it, but it's just an easy setup to be able to do. And once I did this, now I'm ready to be able to quilt this quilt. I'm going to close repeat patterns. One thing that I want you to see though, as I went down this quilt, I did a relocate, shift all to one point, and I chose the center of the quilt to be able to keep these lined up. I need to take this boundary that was the geometric square, and it needs to move with the patterns. So in order to be able to do that, because boundaries won't move when I roll the quilt, I'm going to hit my L key on my keyboard. I'm going to go back to my convert, and I'm going to convert boundary to pattern. And when I do, it turns back to a pattern. Now when I relocate after quilting a row of this quilt, the geometric square will move with the quilt. Once it is moved, I can then select it and convert it back pattern to boundary so that Creative Studio will not want to quilt it. And that's the way that I set up Chocolate Bunny. Thank you.